What's happening, guys? So me and Josh are just heading over to my sponsor now, Lee Marks, the PT. So we're heading over to David Lloyd's where he coaches his clients. I've not seen Josh now since I got back from Portugal, and I know he's got some questions for how it went. I've had a lot of people messaging me asking what the experience was like, so we thought we'd do a reflection video on that.
First question is, how did that even come about? The actual, the thing itself of going to Portugal and to train over there.
Yeah, so it was funny because I got the message probably the week before we went. So it was one of them things. I got asked if I wanted to go, and the next minute I want to fly over there. So what it was, Charlie Edwards, obviously he's a professional boxer who I know. Now he's got a place over there in Villamora. So he knows a few coaches, a few managers, and there's a manager over there who manages some Portuguese lads, and he asked Charlie, does he know any lightweights who want to come over for a week of training, just for a bit of sparring for these Portuguese lads that he's managing. So Charlie sent me the message and just said, do you fancy it? And I was like, 100% I fancy it, yeah. So he said, right, no worries, I'll pass your number on. And then I got a call then, basically just saying, like, when can you come over? And we talked about the dates, and he said, sound, we'll get it booked. So everything was paid for, my flights, my accommodation, my food, whilst I was over there. It was just so these Portuguese fighters could get some UK sparring, because what it was, these Portuguese lads, I think they're coming over to the UK to box. So before the manager, sends them over here, he wanted to see how they got on against other UK fighters. He didn't want to send them over to the UK and they not be up to standards, with our standards. So yeah, he brought us in. It weren't just me, there was 3 other lads who came over from Sheffield as well.
Did you know any of them prior? Or?
No, I had heard of one of them, but I didn't actually know him. So these lads were from Sheffield, you see, so like I say, I didn't know them, but they were all sound lads. There was me, another lad, Levi, who was a lightweight, and then 2 bigger lads, Harrison and Nico, all sound lads, and they just got a text as well asking if they wanted to come over, and they said yeah too. So it was funny though, because I was in London, they flew from Manchester, but I was in London at the time, so I just flew from Luton over there, and then the lads flew from Manchester, and I just met them then at Faro Airport in Portugal and got in a taxi and went to the accommodation.
Well, and this is like the first time you've ever sort of done any form of boxing abroad, is that right?
Yeah. First trip abroad sparring for me.
I suppose it's kind of good that it wasn't like your own kind of thing. It's like a dipping your toe in the water almost before you, like getting like a mini experience before you have to maybe go and compete abroad yourself. Yeah,
that's it, exactly. It is. I'd imagine that will happen in the future where I'll have a fight abroad. So it was a good experience just for me to go over and spar.
Well, go on. So like from day one, what was like? How did you settle in? I mean, was it pretty much you land and then you train in straight away?
No, so we got there late on a Monday. So yeah, I think I got into Faro Airport about 8 o'clock at night on a Monday. So then we headed to the accommodation, went to sleep, and then we had sparring in the morning. Then at 12 o'clock it was, Tuesday afternoon. So we woke up, we got picked up, and then went sparring. I only did 4 rounds to start with one of the Portuguese lads, and then that was it. Then we came home, and then later on I went back to the same gym just to do a strength and conditioning session, because obviously whilst I was over there, I'm still in camp. I've got obviously the fight coming up, so I needed to keep on with the work that I needed to do. So I went back that same day on the Tuesday and did a strength and conditioning session, and then the Wednesday Charlie picked us up. Like I say, Charlie was over there at the same time as us, so he messaged us seeing if we wanted to do a beach run, because where the marina is there, it's a great place to run. So picked us up, we did a beach run Wednesday morning around the marina. I think it was about 10k, and then we came back, we chilled, had dinner, and then we went back to Charlie's and a little bit later on to his house, because he's got a home gym. So we just did like a bag session at his place, and then that was it for Wednesday. Thursday come, we had more sparring again, 12 o'clock, and I think I did about 6 or 7 rounds this time. Three different lads this time. One of them actually was he had been into the Olympics. I found out after that he'd been to the Olympics, and he was like ranked 16th in the world at one point, but then I think he obviously fell off a little bit, and then now he was just getting back to it. So it was good sparring for me.
Was there any like language barrier at any point? I mean, that I suppose the beautiful thing with boxing is once you spar, you don't need to speak the same language, because you're already speaking a different language. But was there any kind of barriers that you found in terms of trying to communicate whilst they're training?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like to be fair, the lads spoke good English, because I can't speak any Portuguese, so there's no chance of that.
I thought you'd be fluent, mate.
So they spoke a little bit of English, but yeah, it's one of them when it's a different country and they don't speak your language. It's mainly just like the respect's there in terms of you hug, you say hello, like you greet them, and that's really all you can do to start with, because you don't know them, you don't know what they're like. They all turned out to be really nice lads, to be fair, and we got on with them well over the few days that we met them. Yeah, it was more just a case of like mutual respect in terms of we say hello, everyone knows hello, and we just crack on and we just sparred from there.
Was there any particular like lad that you sort of really stuck out and that you can kind of see you staying in contact with, or even there might not even be like a fighter, or was there like any former manager or someone in particular?
Well, I mean, just the contacts over there that I made, were quality. So like on the Thursday when we were sparring, I met Dillian Whyte there. So Dillian Whyte's got his own complex, and that's where he does his training camps in Villamora, and I think that's where he lives actually full time. And we knew he was there, and then all of a sudden on the Thursday he comes in, and he just come in to sort of watch the sparring, and then I was sparring first. So I seen him walk in, I was about to get in the ring, getting my gear on, and he was just stood there watching. So I did clock him that he was there. The next minute I'm about 3 rounds in, and after the 3rd round I walked back to the corner, and I could see him walking over, and I was like, wow, no way. So anyway, I walk back and I'm watching him, and he comes in and jumps on the ring, and he starts chatting to me and like basically cornering me and telling me what to do. Do this, do that. Went out for the 4th round, came back, he was there again, right, do this, do that. Mad experience. And his coach was there as well, and I spoke to him, and he was helping me out, giving me loads of advice. He was coaching me whilst I was there, and and I took his Instagram down at the end, his coach, and he's definitely a contact that I'll keep in touch with, because he's got his own gym in London, Wembley area, where he coaches some of his other pros when he's not in Villamora coaching Dillian. So I explained to him sometimes I'm in London, if I'm ever there, can I come down and train? And he said, yeah, definitely. So that's a contact that he's going to stick with me 100%, because he was telling me he's got a lightweight, it would be perfect sparring for me. So yeah, whenever I'm free and I can go down, it'd be a great experience for me.
That's definitely like butterfly effect. I think you go down there, you'll just meet more and more people that can kind of help. Probably get you going to sort of like Portugal again, or
that's similar. It. So John, who brought us down there, manager, I formed a good relationship with him, and I said to him after it, if you ever want me again, let me know, and I'll be straight on the flight. And he replied with a nice message back saying, you're a good lad. I hope you smash the pro game. Keep in touch, and I'm sure we will. So yeah, it's just good contact really for me.
That'll be good buzz, because obviously you're fighting. Is it 2 weeks tomorrow?
2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah, 7th of October.
So they'll obviously there'll be a few of them looking over there, and it'll be nice for you to kind of keep an eye on them as well. The lads that you've met.
100%. Like them Portuguese fighters, I think they're all fighting around October time, end of October. So I've followed them all on Instagram. So yeah, no doubt, like you say, they'll be keeping an eye on how I get on the 7th. and I'll be keeping an eye out on how they go on.
Yeah, because especially, you say it's Sheffield, those lads.
Yeah, so the other lads who came over are from Sheffield, yeah, so they weren't actually in any training camps. I think that all them lads are just waiting for dates, but again, it's, you know, it's more boxers who I can familiarise myself with on, you know, on the circuit. And
plus it's like, you know, something where we could do some content with them in the future, because obviously you've already got a foundation of, you know, doing some training with them already.
100%. Right, well, we're here at David Lloyd, so I'm going to come in now and see my sponsor Lee. But thanks for listening.